Alright, hi everybody. Welcome to another late night stream of mine. And we are doing UBOAT again. That wonderful game where you slip into the role of a German submarine commander in the Second World War. And can experience an open world and the deep dive into the atmosphere, how it might have been being part of that U-boat warfare. Well, if we are honest to ourselves, we are pretty glad that we are not in real life part of something like that. But the technology, looking back, the technology is so fascinating. So what did they have back then? It was pretty much of high tech, having hybrid engines, diesel and electric, all these targeting systems, the torpedoes and everything. And the submarine is such a small system. So if you compare it to a large surface battleship or something, in the submarine, when you slip into the role of the captain, you really feel like having the control. And particularly this game here, let me call it the best submarine simulation ever. Particularly this game really gives you a wonderful feeling of, being in command, not of a machine by pressing keys on your keyboard, but actually commanding a real crew. So without forcing you into too much of micromanagement, there is so much detail that you actually live through in this game. So let me briefly show you where I am. I'm doing this stream since something like a year, and glad to have you guys sharing it with me on Twitch. And since a while I also upload the streams to YouTube. Well, I warn you, it's an uncut version of the whole stream. I just don't have the time to do the cutting or something. And still, I think there are a few guys who like to watch this also on YouTube afterwards. And everybody feel invited to also join my Twitch channel. By the way, I am Josh Slocum. And in game, I'm doing a complete playthrough through the war, having started at the very beginning of the war in September 39. And since then, we went through a lot of adventures in the North Sea, in the close, mid, and far Atlantic, in the Arctic colds, and then down to the warm Mediterranean, passing through the Strait of Gibraltar, and now doing that mission set, the Battle of the Mediterranean. And we already have finished the first 50,000 tons, and now we are going for the second 50,000 tons. And my plan actually is to get the boat upgrade point, and hopefully I will be then able to upgrade my boat to the Mark 9, to the Type 9. Because this is one great thing about the update, that we all could continue with our good old saves. And so I hope that I can smoothly slip into the new DLC in my old saved game. So let's see, I'm playing maximum difficulty level, and I am playing with one mod, which is the Deep Leaks mod. Pretty great mod, by the way. So in yesterday's stream, we had just sunk one merchantman, and now we are underway for new adventures. And we actually have already reached the goal of the patrol, but nevertheless we still have quite a few torpedoes left, so let's carry on and see if we can kick some asses. Torpedo situation is alright, so we still have quite a few torpedoes. I actually did fire 3 torpedoes as I used to do it on highest difficulty level. You actually have to do all the figures, estimate enemy speed, angle on bow, distance, and so firing a torpedo is always also a bit of a gamble, and I want to play safe, so I usually fire 1 torpedo afore, 1 amidships and 1 abaft, and so usually at least 1 or 2 of them score a hit. So some people might say it's a waste of torpedoes, but on the other hand it's a relatively safe way to really sink the ship on that high difficulty level. If you do the figures correct front up. So that's where we are. Crew discipline is at 100% at the moment, although we have a high fatigue level of -14. I am offering 4 different types of food, which helps to keep up a fairly okay-ish moral. Although you see, sooner or later we are gonna run out of that 4th type of food. Yeah, we still have plenty of fuel, and in the Mediterranean that's not an issue. The distances in the Mediterranean are, well, no match for us and our range at the moment. Oh, we have a bit of water in the bilge, so let's turn on the pump. Yeah, it's not a leak, it's just kind of a bit of water seeping in, dripping in, filling the bilge. Pretty uncritical. One of the very realistic parts of the game, that you really have that effect of always having some water creeping in. Oh no, please. Yeah, that's this torpedo I want to have. Yeah, I am even thinking about doing a little raid towards the port of Malta. Let's see, maybe we get some recon. Let's do some reconning and see if we can pay the port of Malta a little visit later. Right now, yeah, new stream, new save, W418. And let's do some time acceleration.
Geladen.
Change of watch. Hey. Whose turn is it actually?
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Yes, it's your turn. Mr. Grade, our chief engineer, needs urgent sleep. You see it on that bar here. So let's do one more hydrophone check. Yeah, the sea is 300 to 400 meters here according to the map.
Tauchen auf 40 Meter.
Let's do a hydrophone check. Why does it only go for 40 meters? No, 50, okay. Yeah, I am a bit surprised that up to now we only ran into unguarded single asset, single transports, single merchantmen. So it, well, feels relatively unrisky what we are doing here. Let's see if we run into man of war sooner or later.
Ja. Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Hey, what about the hydrophone? Oh, there it is. So, Mr. Henrik, any contacts?
25 Meter.
Yeah, the crew brings the boat down to 50 meters and then stops the engines. And now we are gonna do a 5 minutes silent listening. And yeah, within an enormous range of something like 80, more than 80 miles, we should detect just any moving propeller.
Meter.
Torpedorohr 1 gewartet.
Okay, no contact. The weather is pretty fair, only 7 knots of wind speed. So the sea is pretty calm. Might be that they have changed something with the update about the range of the hydrophone, because with this hydrophone before the update I was even able to get something like more than 90 miles of range in fair weather. And right now it is 10 miles less, obviously. That was it. We are getting back to the surface, no contact.
Aktuelle Tiefe 15 Meter.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
All right. So let's carry on.
3 gewartet.
Jawohl, benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloi. Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
It's morning, the sun. Not quite sure. Is it already up behind the clouds or still just underneath the horizon? I'm not quite sure. But whatever it is, beautiful graphics. So now we are very close to that British base. And there should be airplanes abroad. And yeah, relatively shallow here, 150 to 200 meters, but still enough depth to do an ordinary hydrophone check. Okay, the tank's being flooded and down we go.
Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Mr. Strauss is on watch this time.
Schraubengeräusch.
Ah,
Peilung 55 Grad.
warship?
30 Meter.
Wow. I think this is the first warship that I encounter since I am here in the Mediterranean.
45 Meter.
Yeah, probably guarding the port, right? Warship. Contact 01.
50 Meter.
What's the distance? Rough estimated distance 13 miles, not too far away.
Aktuelle Tiefe 55 Meter.
Schraubengeräusche. Großer Konvoi.
Mhm.
0 Grad. Herr Kapitän,
Wow, large convoy. Unbelievable. Moving away.
Meter.
First convoy, wow.
Kurs setzen.
So if it's an ordinary convoy, we should expect it to sail with something like 8 knots. And as we do not yet know what their heading is, it might be just ending up on any point of that circle after 1 hour. Yeah, 8 knots is 8 miles per hour, which means after 1 hour they must be somewhere there. The contact said it's moving away. That was the info that we got from Mr. Strauss. Let's see. Yeah, but let's finish this hydrophone check first.
Herr Kaloin,
And see if we encounter any more contacts. A little bit of time acceleration.
Anblasen.
And there we go, back to the surface. Mr. Arles opening the
Aktuelle
valves
Tiefe 45 Meter.
to let compressed air push the water out of the ballast tanks. And up we go. Now I'm just a little bit in a worry,
20 Meter.
a little bit worried that we might get spotted by shipborne radar
5 Meter.
of that man of war. But,
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
that's amazing. They're so far away and we get the smoke column. So, Captain, please take a look at that. Wow, I wouldn't have thought that we see the smoke column over that distance. Might be because it's an enormously large man of war. Don't know. But it was just one contact, so a battleship or a carrier would not be operating on their own. They would always have some company. So it does look more like being some destroyer.
wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin?
But that's actually a bit unusual that we already see the smoke column of that distance of 12, 13 miles. Well, now maybe realistic. So let's give it a save at that point. And now Mr. Grade, our chief engineer, is off watch. But sorry, guy, I need you at the engines and go flank. 1 hour of flank speed would bring us there. And right now it's 20 minutes to 9. So let's go until 20 minutes to 10. Let me briefly check. Okay. What does it look like in the binoculars? There they are. Okay, it's still hull down. We don't see anything of the ship. Hull down and masts also still down. Behind the horizon. So maybe we don't have to worry about that guy. Alright, here we are. And let's do the next hydrophone check.
50 Meter.
I really want to track down this convoy. Yeah, ballast tanks being flooded again.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter. E-Motoren wechseln.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin?
There we go. To periscope depth 50 meters and then 5 minutes of silent listening again.
25 Meter.
So we got that contact here, but of course one contact is not enough to give us any hint on their direction or speed, but the second contact now should. So let's keep fingers crossed that we don't lose that. So it looks like it's a particularly slow convoy, I would say.
50 Meter.
Just going with something like 6. Yeah, but there is always a bit of uncertainty.
35 Grad.
Bit of uncertainty in these measurements. So what about that man of war?
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
It's moving slowly, but it is moving. Now we have a course of that convoy. Let's give it some extrapolation.
Jawohl.
There they are. Five minutes of silent listening and then back to the surface. We already heard everything that we needed to hear, so let's do a little bit of time acceleration to pass the 5 minutes. (12 to 26 ships. Nice. I'm pretty curious how heavily guarded the convoys are here in the Mediterranean. Up in the Arctic Sea it was terrible. They had a close circle of escorts, of corvettes and destroyers all around just any convoy. So a convoy of something like 12 of 12 merchantmen might well have has many escorts around. So,
Anblasen.
all right.
Aktuelle Tiefe 40 Meter. 20 Meter. Auf
Oh.
Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Give it another save. And let's just keep fingers crossed that we are not running into any air patrol. Now us going for another hour with flying speed would bring us roughly there. Yeah, 7 knots of wind speed, relatively flat sea, so we can really go fast, as it looks like. An average speed of, oh no, not quite realistic. However, let's do another hydrophone check.
Tauchen auf 35 Meter.
Wow, it's pretty shallow around here, 50 to 100. So the crew only brings the boat down to 35 meters because it's so shallow here. They want to make sure that we stay clear of the seabed.
Herr Kapitän. Aktuelle Tiefe 5
Auf
Meter.
E-Motoren wechseln.
Meter.
Schraubengeräusche. Großer Konvoi. Peilung 355 Grad.
Yep, there we have them again. Mr. Strauss.
Aktuelle Tiefe 35 Meter.
Ja. Schraubengeräusch. Kriegsschiff. Peilung 160 Grad.
Okay, just out of curiosity. Yeah, okay, it looks like it's patrolling to and fro in front of the port. Let's just ignore it from now on.
Schraubengeräusch. Heilung.
Even more. Okay, interesting. A single unit there. Single 04. Is it the fourth one? Not quite sure. Ah, it's even 5. Yeah.
Anblasen. Auf Dieselmotoren.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Back to the surface and flank speed. So another something like 16 miles, 1 hour, 11 to 12. So we would expect them to be there. And what about these guys? Let's see. So 1 hour. That's safe. And continue the chase. Average speed of almost 18 miles. Yeah, when the sea's that flat, no swell, then the boat really reaches its maximum speed. Now, please. Alright, let me see. What are you doing? Are you listening for the weather forecast? Let's wait until we get it.
Unterstützung.
What is the guy doing there at the radio? Didn't give him any order. And it's really not progressing. Receive weather forecast. That takes ages. Come on, we don't need the weather forecast. At least not that urgent. Right now, we need to do a hydrophone check. One more.
Auf 50 Meter.
Yeah, beautiful. You see the crew, the off-watch crew running to the front compartment, assembling there to give additional ballast in the bows. And in this case here, Mr. Schultz opening the valves to let the Mediterranean Sea fill our ballast tanks, and 2 crewmates manning the depth steers. There we go, the ballast tanks filling quickly.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kalon?
Aktuelle Tiefe 5
Auf
Meter.
E-Motoren wechseln.
Hey, Aquising, good evening. Nice to have you in.
25 Meter.
How are you doing? We actually had a wonderful Saturday around here. I would say it was the warmest day. It already really felt like summer.
40 Meter.
So, how is the weather in Canada?
Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 15 Grad.
Aktuelle Tiefe 50 Meter.
Schraubengeräusche. Großer Konvoi. Peilung 350
Okay.
Grad.
So if you ask me, that pretty much looks like a fisherman.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kalon?
And these guys are really moving slow. Might be that they're only going with 7 knots. That's a very slow convoy. But even, well, I don't complain.
Aktuelle Tiefe 55 Meter.
That's weird. Just too slow, I would say. Maybe a misreading of Mr. Strauss at the hydrophone.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten
no.
setzen. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Yeah, let's finish the hydrophone check. You might always get some additional interesting content.
Meter.
Let's do a bit of time acceleration.
Anblasen.
And there we go, back to the surface. It's exactly lunchtime in game.
40 Meter.
So, Aqua-Icing, are you playing U-Boat yourself in parallel? There we are, back to the surface.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Torpedorohr 1 gewartet.
Yeah, we need to increase our distance a bit. Like that. So, flank speed. Maybe we would go for 2 hours until we have the next check. So they would have been going for 14 miles. And us. 18 times 2 is 36, right? Well, let's not be that optimistic and say it's maybe 32. Ah, okay, from the Arctic you went back to the Atlantic, yeah. But I was so curious. I was so curious about the Mediterranean. I've never been there before. Ah, help me. What was Anfield? What kind of game is that? Anfield. Anfield. I didn't read it exactly, and I implied that, what was it, First World War or Second World War? British standard rifle. Anfield, okay. What is it about? Minutes past 12. Let's go for 1 hour. Let's go for 2 hours. 10 minutes past 2. One hour. Okay, the wind increased from 7 to 8, which is almost nothing.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Herr Kapitän? Zeit für eine Auszeit. Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. Zeit für eine Auszeit.
So guys, please give me another hydrophone check. All right, there we go. Yeah, discipline is done all right with 98%, but the fatigue has been risen from 14 to 15.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter. E-Motoren wechseln. 45 Meter.
Okay, still two different types of food. Four different types of food.
Vom Landkrieg mitbekommen? Ich habe gehört, dass die Alliierten eine große Offensive in Nordafrika starten.
50 Meter.
Yeah, a bit of water in the bilge. Uncritical.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin? Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 155 Grad. Schraubengeräusche. Großer Konvoi. Peilung 15 Grad.
2 hours from here to there means they're moving with not much more than 4 knots. So might be a fisherman. Let's ignore that guy.
Herr Kaloin? Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Peilung 330 Grad.
And another one there, interesting. Single 05.
Jawohl.
And what about you guys? Wow, they're really slow. 6. They're moving something like... They're definitely not moving 8. They're at maximum moving with 7 knots, maybe even 6. Which is so slow for a convoy. Another 2 hours. As for us, another 2 hours. Yeah, we are really catching up with the guys.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin?
Yeah, no more surprises, obviously, from the hydrophone.
Anblasen.
There we go.
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter. 20 Meter. Auf diesem Motorenwechsel.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Let's give it a save and then carry on for 2 more hours. It's 10 past 2, so it will be 10 past 4. Okay. So we have the radar contacts already by now. Maybe I should keep a bit further away. Yeah, they are having good radar systems by now. Just don't want to be detected by them.
Kurs setzen.
Yeah, sooner or later they might be able to detect us.
Kurs setzen.
All right, 2 hours.
Torpedorohr 1 gewartet.
That's a radar contact.
Herr Kaloin?
And that's another radar contact.
Herr Kaloin?
Yeah, right. So we have to take some distance, get some distance in between them and us while overtaking, so that they just don't recognize us via the radio or radar. Well, we have the radar contact. So I think this is just fine. So we don't have to do another hydrophone check. Let's just carry on. if we go for another 2 hours, (4:10) till 6:10, we should be in an advantageous position to cut off their way.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
One hour. (6:10). So there will be the change of watch at 6 o'clock.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloi. Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Herr Kaloin,
Funkmesssignale geortet. Peilung 120 Grad. Herr Kaloi,
That's them. Pretty sure.
Navigation besetzen. Diesel besetzen.
Yeah, it's getting dark. It's 6 o'clock in the evening, so this pretty much looks like it's gonna become a night engagement. I don't see any smoke coming. With 20 miles, we are just too far away for that.
ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloi.
Funkraum besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Herr Kaloi.
Let's see, anything to spot? Oh no. No, that scale up there is buggy. I had that before. Not very good. Pretty uncool. And what is this? Hey, come on. Ooh, that, oh, there is a guy standing there. Ah, okay. Okay, alright. So you don't get an angle reading when you're just doing the binocular. Which is realistic. Does make sense.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Kurs auf
Now,
diese Koordinaten setzen.
them going for 1 hour and us going for 1 hour bring us there. Yeah, okay, that should be all right.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Now let's start to intercept the guys.
Diese besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Yeah, give us flank speed, please.
Ja?
Let's mark the radar contacts on the map.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloi?
Yeah, that's part of the highest difficulty level. That you don't have your targets being displayed on the map automatically.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloi?
There they are coming in. Pretty much where I expected them to be. One more hour and they would be there. 7:10.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloi?
Let's just hope that they didn't yet detect us.
Kurs setzen. Fahrt voraus.
Okay, now this is gonna be the first serious action in the Mediterranean since we did the Strait of Gibraltar. I mean real convoy action. All the tonnage that we did up to now in the Mediterranean was just lonesome and unescorted merchantmen. They should be more or less dead ahead now. But no smoke column visible yet. But to avoid being detected by their radar, I think it's already more than due time to go to the snorkel depth. Yeah, let's go to periscope depth for now.
Ja?
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Alright guys, we are gonna go for periscope depth.
Seerohrtiefe.
And I want to have the snorkel applied.
Schnorchel ausfahren.
There we get the snorkel, the Schnorchel. So this hopefully avoids us being detected by their radar while we are still out of visible
Boot für Rundblick eingesteuert.
detection range.
Schraubengeräusche. Große Gruppe. Peilung 0 Grad.
Yeah, no surprise. Single convoy 01. Distance now 17 miles, all right. So now we are going with the diesel, being submerged with a snorkel, and this allows us to refill the batteries now. We couldn't have refilled it before because we were going flank speed all the time, and with flank speed you put all your power into propulsion, And there is nothing left for reloading the batteries, but now we are just going with cruise speed, being submerged. This is now 9 knots, 9 to 10 knots. Discipline is still alright with 97%. Water in the bilge, only 16 liters, perfectly fine. Ah, come on, go away with your best views. I already have perfectly fine views. No smoke column yet to be spotted. Quarter to 8. Half an hour. Half an hour, and yeah. So 8:15, and we should be there. Let's do 15 minutes.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
Oh yeah, there they are. We have the smoke columns. Hey, Chainsaw, good evening. Nice to have you in. How are you? Hope you had a good Saturday. As for the game, right now I ran into the very first convoy. The very first guarded and escorted convoy in the Mediterranean. Up to now, we only ran into single unescorted ships. And now, yeah, first convoy. So let's see that we get some action. So I was going around the convoy, tracking its course. Something like that. It looks like it's moving with 6 to 7 knots. And here we are, the convoy coming in with a certain width. And yeah, now I am trying to infiltrate it. At the moment I am going with the snorkel on diesel still, but soon I'm gonna have to stow away the snorkel to stay undetected. Yeah, I'm playing pretty late in the game, so late in the game, late in the war, enemy convoys, allied convoys are pretty good in detecting submarines. So what I do is putting myself right in front of them and then go into complete silence and let them just go in across me, and then in the right moment go in and sink 1 or 2 merchantmen if possible. But that's a bit, yeah, it's always a bit of a gamble. So if by bad luck one of the escorts is just running too close to you, they're gonna detect you. Always keep the periscope down and just dip it upwards for short periods of observation. That's how I actually do it. But it is becoming really tough late in the war. So batteries are almost full. Maybe this is now the right time to pull in the snorkel to make sure that we don't get detected. Yes, please.
Schnorchel einfahren.
Yeah, get in the snorkel, please. Go to electric. We should start to be sneaky by now.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Torpedo maintenance. Yeah, well, it will still take a while until we reach them and gonna fire our first torpedo.
Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 100 Grad.
Okay. So I haven't been playing much with the Type 9. Just continuing my recent patrol. That's not nice. So if you have the attack scope down and the observation scope as well, and then still it would stick out of the water. So hard to tell then what the game mechanics would make out of that. Okay, it's stuck, so you can't really put it down. Yep. Not good. Or is it that some kind of random crewmate independently starts to man the observation periscope? I only played the Type 9 for one session, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of things slipped my attention. But my plan actually is to continue my good old campaign here. I already have finished this first level of the Battle of the Mediterranean, and now hope that I soon get that boat upgrade, and then in my long-term campaign I am gonna switch to the Type 9. That's my plan. Okay, alright. Yeah, that's already tough. So, what year is it then? 42 or something? 41, 42? 40 already, yeah. The toughest convoys I actually did have up in the Arctic convoys missions, which I did something like mid 43. So I was lucky to do it in summer. Must be terrible if you would happen to do the Arctic convoys mission set in winter, having complete darkness all the time. I mean, I'm playing with dark nights, so that would be tough, but not at the moment, because the dark nights are still a bit buggy. The dark nights are pretty bright still in the game. Yeah, what I did was I was going to the Western Atlantic after the Black Pit, because only then I managed to get my first supply submarines, the milk cows. Yeah, I didn't do these missions down Africa, but I would be curious how they feel. There is this mission where you would get cheap coffee, cheaper imports. Like coffee, yeah, so this feels pretty useless, because that late in the game you have plenty of money. Money is really not the limiting factor. So the weighting of the rewards in the late game could be a bit better, I think. Yeah, for Africa you also need the milk cow, right? Yeah. So, I mean, the late game is still good fun, because the gameplay itself is still well weighted, and you really have that nice feeling that the enemies are learning and getting better and more dangerous. But the rewards, they are not so well balanced. Because late in the game you get a lot of rewards which, yeah, just don't help you much. Okay.
Herr Kapitän?
We have a contact there. Could be this one. Interesting. Let's mark it. I think I called it single 05 and 40 miles. Two, three, four. Yeah, okay, so this looks like these guys are moving with something like 10 knots. So my gut feeling tells me that this is not a fisherman. But yeah, at the moment I'm engaged. Otherwise, let's see what we can do here with that convoy. Yeah, we are pretty much dead ahead of these guys. So that should be alright. Let's just keep fingers crossed that the escort ships who are in front of the convoy are not just running right above us. Discipline is alright, 97%. Batteries, 97%. So that's fine.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloi?
There they are coming in. At a distance now of 10 miles. 5.
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet.
So another half an hour would see them there.
Torpedorohr 3 gewartet. Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
That's good. So here we are, 15 minutes further. And I think now I would like to have somebody to take care that we don't broach the surface. So Mr. Grade, please supervise the guys at the depth steers so that we have a very precise keeping of the depth, of periscope depth.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Let's see if they are zigzagging. The last convoys, all the last convoys since months that I ran into were all zigzagging. I mean, large-scale zigzagging, which is pretty tricky to track them down when they do that. Let's just hope that this big smoke is not an escort. Actually, all the smoke columns look pretty merchantmanish. I mean, that would be a nice surprise if there would be no escort. If they still feel pretty safe in the Mediterranean. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what we get. Do have a bit of water in the bilge by now. Torpedoes are fairly well maintained, but it will still take a while until we are going to be able to fire. Yeah, by now we should be getting pretty close.
Alarm! Zerstörer in Sicht.
Oh,
Direkt voraus.
ah shit. Destroyer dead ahead. That's bad news.
Zerstörer. 20 Grad.
Oh, fuck, lots of escorts, obviously. Pretty sure this one there, that's it. This one is Merchantman and that one is a
335
destroyer,
Grad.
pretty sure. Let's reduce speed.
eine Fahrt voraus. Handelsschiff, 355 Grad.
That's this guy.
Handelsschiff, direkt voraus. Alle Maschinen stopp.
Let's just stop now and do. Yeah, you can step away from battle station, but
Alle
let's
Luken schließen.
close the bulkheads already
Schleichfahrt.
and go for silent running. Hey, Kaludar, nice to have you. How are you doing? Hope you had a good Saturday. Yeah, we were just tracking down a convoy, relatively large convoy, and we did hydrophone check by hydrophone check, extrapolating their course and speed, and then now we did overtake him and put ourselves right in front of the convoy, and now, yeah, let's hope that we are not being detected. Yeah, it's getting darker and darker. Night time. Oh yeah, it's because we switched to blue lighting with silent running, right? And so the red lighting gave us a bit better illumination, better view, better usage of the eye to the darkness. But yeah, let's see if we can do it like that. Which one? Yeah, well, I'm always a little bit ambivalent about modern naval sub-simulations. So Cold Waters is one that I had been trying out a few years ago, but it did not quite convince me. Yeah, modern naval warfare, yeah. Do you? I thought that you were flexible, that you could actually control several ships. Yeah, I have it on my list actually. Up to now I never tried. I think it's in early access, is it? Am I right? Yeah, yes, sea power and modern naval warfare. These are the two which I never quite figured out which one is which. Yep, you're completely right. Okay, sorry, ad is coming in. Wow, there is a destroyer dead ahead of me. Not good. Not good at all.
Schleichfahrt beenden.
Yeah, so I would be curious about the first person. Is it like in U-boat that you can walk around your ship? Because this is what I thought that they would not deliver, to really have that first person in the sense of you are a guy walking around. That would be great. That would be great. Because I thought it would be more like relatively anonymous, you being on the stations. Now I am really thinking about maybe I'm gonna try to sink that destroyer with a sound-seeking torpedo. Let's see what we can do. The T5. All the torpedoes need some maintenance. Mr. Arles, please. Give some maintenance to torpedo tube 1.
Handelsschiff. Direkt voraus.
So there is probably the escort in front of the merchantman, I fear.
Handelsschiff. 5 Grad.
So I wonder if we could take out the destroyer and then go for
Handelsschiff. 350 Grad.
the merchantman.
Handelsschiff. 345 Grad.
Oh no, we are not in a good position, I fear. Hey guy, why didn't you do the maintenance? Why didn't you finish it? No, I want you to stay there and you to do the maintenance on torpedo 1 and Mr. Schneider. Could you do them both? Yes. All right. So please get these torpedoes ready in the complete darkness.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloy?
They are already very close, 2 miles.
Torpedorohr 1 gewartet.
Draw 3.5. If I give it 4 might be a bit too much. 3.5. If I give it a draught of 3.5, it should be alright. On that angle I will not be able to actually see what type of ship we have there. So this will be kind of a lucky shot that I'm gonna take from the hip.
Zerstörer, 20 Grad.
Is this a destroyer? Might be, but unclear.
Jawohl, Herr Kalon.
Wird erledigt, Herr.
Ich benötige Ihre Unterstützung. Folgen Sie mir.
Bestätige.
Please give me that maintenance. So there is some guy dead ahead.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
Probably this one. Three, 2, 3, 4. So if I give it 3, 5, it should be alright. Not quite sure which one it is, but with a draught or torpedo depth of 3, 5, everything should go alright. Ah, well. Torpedoes are maintained. Alright. And this one in tube 4, it's the sound-seeking torpedo. This is the one that I would launch and hope that I could sink the escort with it. And I'm pretty sure that it is detecting us. They're I think they're right in line. The escort is right in front of the merchantman, I guess. Hey, you think it was an EF? Yeah, that was my guess as well. So thank you very much for confirming that. This one, right? All right. Yeah, Colin, by the way, nice to have you in. Good evening. Hope you had a good Saturday. .2, so I would put the torpedo on a draught of 3.5. Maybe I should send our bosun to the torpedo calculator now. And wow, that one is pretty close by now. Pretty sure that this is an escort. Yeah. Less than 2 miles. Yeah, Kaludar, if you ask me, I actually didn't heed the weather reports much lately. But my gut feeling tells me they are still a bit bugged. While here in the Mediterranean I always have nice weather, so I didn't run into any storms yet. So I really can't judge. The one thing is that I always had pretty constantly good weather here in the Mediterranean, and the other point is that I actually didn't quite heed the weather report. By the way, guys, allow me to be AFK just for 1 minute. right back again. So, thanks for your patience. I'm not yet being pinged, yep. Yeah, you're completely right. It's gonna only alert the convoy. But the point is that obviously I'm just being afloat here on periscope depth, completely silent, not running the engines. And I think I had this bad luck that the escort is running straight towards me. So if I would change my course now, so they are running straight towards me. If I go south or north, I would present my flank, my broadside to them, and they would have a much better chance to detect me. So I think right now I don't have a choice. I don't have much of a choice. But conditions are pretty suboptimum at the moment. Yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah, their velocity is 7 knots at maximum, and their angle on bow on us is actually 0. And the distance at the moment $2,000 or something, a bit more than a mile.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung 2000 Meter. Gegnerlage 0 rechts.
Yeah, good point. Good point, Colin. Yep. That's maybe the best thing to do. So let's retract. Yeah, you're 100% correct. It would just not make any sense to shoot that guy.
Tauchen auf 30 Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 10 Meter. Schleichfahrt.
Let's go for silent running. Let's turn off the electric dive planes. Mr. Grader, you can just do what you like.
Meter.
Herr Kaloy, ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Bestätige.
Yes. Colin, you're 100% right. That's the only thing that makes sense. Maybe we would like to get even a bit deeper. What's that noise?
Tauchen auf 40 Meter.
What?
30 Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 40 Meter.
Yeah, 1 mile.
Aktuelle Tiefe 40 Meter. Tauchen auf 50 Meter. 45 Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 55 Meter. Meter.
Yeah, hard to tell whether they are gonna hear me. I could go much deeper, but it would probably take me by far too long to get back to the surface or to periscope depth, right?
Meter.
But, well,
Tauchen auf 100 Meter.
I think we do have a bit of time left. Let's try to be on the safe side and get a bit deeper. Captain, take a rest, please.
Aktuelle Tiefe 75 Meter.
5 to 10 cables. Who is at 5 to 10 cables? These guys, yeah. Dead ahead.
85 Meter.
Yes, that's the plan, yeah. This leading escort to have it pass across on our heads and then get back to periscope depth for attack. Let's see if we can do that without being detected down here.
Aktuelle Tiefe 105 Meter. 130 Meter.
Oh shit. Oh shit, they got us.
110 Meter.
1 ping.
Meter.
Yeah, exactly. The idea is to get inside the convoy and then get back close to the surface. I mean, that was 1 ping. It doesn't necessarily mean that they already have detected us.
Aktuelle Tiefe 130 Meter. Tauchen auf 150 Meter. 135 Meter.
Aktuelle Tiefe 155 Meter auf 170 Meter. Tauchen auf 160 Meter.
I don't want to have that noise.
60 Meter.
I'm playing with deep leaks, so if I go deeper than 160, I might run into problems. Let's go to 155. If I would have some pipe blowing away,
165.
I could well repair it, but maybe the noise would just give away my position. Or, well, my being there at all.
Meter.
Feindliche Schiffe machen sich gefechtsbereit.
Zeit, unseren Mut zu zeigen.
Shit.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Estig geortet.
Yeah, they are getting our position. They're firing flares, I think. Oh shit. Shit. You know what that is? That was the hedgehog being fired. Oh, come on, guys. That was hedgehog fired. Oh, yes.
Funkgerät beschädigt. Horchgerät nicht mehr einsatzbereit.
E-Motoren besetzen. Alarm auf Gefechtsstation.
Okay, they are giving us a bit of a beating. What do we have? 4 injured guys, a lot of damage. Any leaks? No leaks, actually. Well, yes, there are leaks.
Verstanden, Herr Kommandant.
Yeah, give them medical aid, please. Hole in the starboard. Hole in the port side. Hole in the hull, guys. Please. Oh, come on, come on. And it's dark. It's dark. So somebody please turn on the pump.
Aktuelle Tiefe 165 Meter. Tauchen auf 130 Meter. Tauchen auf 100 Meter.
Get the boat up, get the boat up.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Blow the tanks. Blow the fucking tanks. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I think we just took too much water by now. And yeah, we're not gonna do it. We are not gonna do it. Hey, Pit. Hey, Pit, thanks for the raid. You just see me here being in deep shit. Yeah. It does get pretty difficult. Yeah, I am just about. No chance. I already blew my tanks. I already blew the burst tanks. So it's, and I am. We can't hold the boat actually. We can't hold the boat. It's going down. So I think this one is lost. Flood all both tanks. Can we give it another try? Not at all. Not at all. Oh shit. Oh god, oh god. Hey, Art of Bushido, thank you very much for the follow. That's very much appreciated. Ah, come on. No, no, we are not gonna make it. We are not gonna make it. Yeah, I'm playing with deep leaks additionally. That doesn't make it better. And there we go. Look at that. Look at that. Nope. That's it. That's it. Leak fixed. Thank you very much. But we are. Yeah. So why aren't we going further down? We are still sinking and sinking. All the crew is dead. Only the captain up here is still alive. Only the captain here is still alive. Wow. Oh, where is the captain? Hey, the guys are all dead. How could the captain still be alive? Mr. Strauss is just suffocating. Mr. Schultz is still there. He looks pretty relaxed. Yes, what a legend, yes. But yeah, we are not gonna do it. We are not gonna do it. So this actually looks a bit buggy, to be honest. So they still have their breathing apparatus. They're still alive. So all the crew is dead. Only the officers are still alive, thanks to their breathing apparatus. But yeah, we cannot do anything. We just can't do anything. Any more holes? Hole in the hull? Guys. Pipe. What about you? Give me... Come on, no chance. But that looks really a bit buggy, does it? Interesting. I mean, is this an effect of the update, or is it an effect that I have that Deep Leaks mod installed? More leaks. No, I'm not. I'm definitely not at the bottom. That it feels like that, right? But if you look at the map, it's something like 3,000 meters deep, 3,000 to 4,000 meters. So I'm not at the bottom. It looks like that, but it's not. So this looks a bit buggy, to be honest. What we experience right here, we should be completely crushed by now, but we aren't. So I would be curious if any one of you guys in the stream experienced this, that you get down and you don't get crushed. You just don't get crushed down here. Wow. Okay, I think I read that somewhere, that the breathing apparatus, if you use the Deep Leaks mod, that the breathing apparatus might have pretty unrealistically long resource of oxygen. Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, let's give it up. Let's load our last save, which was, I think, this one. And let's see if we have more luck next. Wow. Yeah, Pit, you just came in when when we were really going down. Tried to sneak into that convoy, but we were so unlucky that there was this one escort ahead of the convoy, and just by unlucky chance it was just heading towards us. Well, let's give it another try. Now, question is, what would be the best tactics? That late in the war, they would just recognize us, obviously.
Tauchen auf 150 Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
So let's see what we can do.
Meter.
Yeah, there is this escort dead ahead of us.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Jawohl, Herr Kaloi.
E-Motoren besetzen. 45 Meter. E-Motoren besetzen.
Guy, please, why don't you?
E-Motoren besetzen.
Thank you very much. Now let's see if we can do it better. But it's gonna be tough. We are in a very unfavorable position now.
Aktuelle Tiefe 90 Meter. Tauchen auf 200 Meter.
Yeah, let's see that we go really deep and avoid them. But problem is that we are doing that deep leaks mod. Mr. Grade,
105 Meter.
I told you to be ready at the engines. Okay, that's a bit weird. Why is he not staying at the engines?
Tiefe 115 Meter.
So, Mr. Arles,
E-Motoren besetzen.
that's a right-away mutiny, isn't it? Oh, he's not doing it as well. That's weird.
130 Meter.
That's really weird. Why is the guy not staying at the engines?
Alarm! Auf Gefechtsstation!
Dafür haben wir trainiert. Wir werden das gemeinsam durchstehen.
Konzentriert euch und bleibt wachsam, Männer. Ruhe ist, was zu tun ist. 145 Meter. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Verstanden, Herr Kommandant. E-Motoren besetzen.
Would you, Mr. Schneider?
Aktuelle Tiefe 155 Meter. Folgen Sie mir. Befehl, Herr Kommandant.
Yeah, once at the very beginning of the patrol we already did a deep dive like that. So I hope that we burned out all the problematic parts. Maybe we can do it better right now. Going really down. Going really deep.
Meter.
we just hope to infiltrate the convoy. And now this escort is heading straight for us.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
This guy here is really worrying me. Okay, we've got a leak.
200 Meter.
Who's gonna repair it? Yes, please. Do so. And flank, please.
205 Meter. Verstanden. Drachenleser als erledigt, Kommandant.
So we are getting in a bit of water now.
Wassereinbruch im Offiziersraum gestoppt.
Okay, very good. $200 was it? In the game you can go deeper, actually.
210 Meter.
Yeah, I can't turn on the pump. It wouldn't do any good down here. Or not much, and it would actually give away.
5 Meter.
It would actually give away our position. Hey, Dr. Sereno, nice to have you in. It is risky, yeah. Particularly as I'm playing with the deep leaks mod, which might give me some additional leaks, like some pipe blowing away or some gasket giving away. So let's keep fingers crossed that the parts are gonna work against that pressure. But maybe we are lucky and this is deep enough to avoid detection. Yeah, I used to play vanilla, and just something like 2 weeks ago I actually dared to try two mods. The one at the moment I'm only using the Deep Leaks mod and no any other mod. Before the update I was also using the device energy management mod, which I pretty much like, but I don't trust it after the update. But the Deep Leaks mod I think is perfectly fine. And I pretty much like that mechanics, that you do not just get crushed when you are down to 260 or something, but that even before you have these failures of particular systems like a pipe or a gasket. Pretty much like that one. By the way, allow me to be AFK for 1 minute. Thanks for your patience. Yeah, well, not really. I think 150, 160 meters. That's just, yeah. I mean, you saw what happened when you just entered with Pit. When you just raided my stream, I was at something like 160 and they detected me and they dropped some depth charges upon me, and that really killed me. And yeah, probably the hedgehogs, that was probably what really killed me, I guess. No.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloi?
There is a guy. Let's see. Another guy there. So if I might slip underneath that escort, I might try to sink these guys.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloi?
This is so very risky what we are doing here.
Herr Kaloi?
More.
Herr Kaloi?
Wow, they're just on top of us. Fingers crossed that they don't spot us. They're just above us. That must be the escort. Another one there.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Wow. They're right above us. What a bad luck that we put ourselves into this position, so that they just by chance are passing right above our head. Give it a save and keep our fingers crossed. Hey, Alan Clark, thank you very much for the follow. That's very kind of you, much appreciated.
Geräusche direkt über uns.
Propellers right above us. And at the moment, we are not pinged. Might be that they just did not recognize us. Alan Clark, Art of Bushido, thank you very much for your follow. And thanks for Pit, because I pretty much guessed that you came in with Pit, didn't you,
Kommandant,
Alan?
feindliche Schiffe geben Alarm.
Oh shit,
Das
they...
wird nicht einfach. Aber wir haben schon Schlimmeres überstanden. Lasst uns ruhig bleiben.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Estek geortet.
Oh no. got us. They got us. What if we just stay silent? Play the game, yep. So are they gonna drop? We didn't hear any hedgehog sound yet. When they are speeding up, they are gonna drop depth charges, maybe. Let's stay ready. And if they do, we're gonna go flank speed and change course for 90 degrees. Okay. But if it's only depth charges, wow. Changing course, flank speed, and go into 150 just in case that we get hit. Okay. Depth charge detonating. But not hitting us, that's good. And they did spot us. They did spot us. Yeah, I really love that, how they simulated there is this inertia. So we are still rising, although I said go for 190, which is pretty realistic. I really don't dare to go to the surface now. Yeah, they spotted us. That was bad luck. We were just ahead of them. Escort. Yeah, chainsaw. Problem was that I put myself right in front of the convoy, and then I was so very unlucky that the leading escort was just heading my way by chance, and then by passing ahead of me, they were detecting me. And yeah, so at that point I was really kind of frozen because I couldn't turn on the engines to get away, because that would have given away my position. And so I could just wait and hope and go deeper, but finally they managed to spot us. When they were just passing above us, they actually pinged us. There is no bottom here. So if you look at the map, it's the bottom is at 3,000 to 4,000 meters actually. Yeah, I actually forgot to turn the dive planes to manual. But if that was the reason, I don't know. What do you mean with they spotted about a wrong coordination? Don't quite get that meaning.
Aktuelle Tiefe 210 Meter.
Yeah, we are pinged again. Yeah, just before an hour ago, I was making jokes that there was no escort in the Mediterranean. We have been sinking a lot of single merchantmen without any escort. And I was curious if there were any escorts in the Mediterranean, and now I know there are. That was flares being fired up there.
Raupengeräusche direkt über uns.
But no depth charges being fired. They heard me talking shit. Yep, exactly. Yes, yeah, okay, that's what you mean with wrong coordination, yeah. They actually put the depth charge to wrong depth. And I think my maneuver was good that I went flank and did this 90 degrees turn. So I was lucky that they didn't fire their hedgehogs. Problem about the hedgehogs is the hedgehogs actually don't get some particular depth, but they just drop and have some impact ignition, some impact pistol. That's what makes them so dangerous. Hey, Aus Norman, long time no see. Great to have you in the stream. Oh, that's too bad. So you still have these problems with crashing. I heard that from other people, but I hope that it was kind of fixed, because some people said that they had less problems with crashes in the last days. Yeah. Oh, too bad. That's actually, well, I keep my fingers crossed, but I didn't have any stability problems. There are a few bugs in the game, but not some bugs that actually brought the game down to crash. Okay, Chainsaw, same for you. You didn't have any bugs as well. I mean, nothing to crash the game. Yeah, that's very frustrating to play a game where you have to do saves every 30 minutes. And if the game crashes at minute 29, it's so annoying. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that they had some patch about it. Yeah, Australia, yeah. Yeah. Oh, or let's go flank. And shall I save the game? I don't know. Maybe it's a bad idea to save exactly here. Yeah, on what platform are you playing? Are you playing on PC or on console?
Schadensbericht.
Höhenbogen und Torpedoraum. Wassereinbruch und Torpedoraum. Höhenbruch im Offiziersraum.
Ah, come on, come on.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter. Anblasen.
So, what can we do? Repair the leaks. Hole in the hull. Hole in the port side. And hole in the starboard side. Guys, flank, please. Repair that. ASAP. Ah, shit. No.
Wo ist der Sunny?
We are not. Oh shit, look at that. We are not gonna do that. Again. No, the crew doesn't have any breaths at all. The breaths are only available for the officers, actually. Ah, no shit. Again. Ah, come on. Come on. They are dying. Yeah. I'm driving too fast. Yeah, come on. Ah, come on. 12 leagues. Yeah. 24 leagues. I wonder if we could do that last one. Ah, come on. So they really gave me a few direct hits. I hate that.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe this is the problem, actually.
Anblasen.
Maybe the deep leaks mod is really giving me the trouble here.
Aktuelle Tiefe 205 Meter.
Ah, come on. Yeah, I don't know. Never had that. This is actually the first time since I installed the Deep Leaks mod. This is the first time that I really got into action and being depth charged. Actually, Norman, yes, I'm still in the Mediterranean, yeah. I'm still in the Mediterranean.
Tauchen auf 40 Meter. Tauchen auf 55 Meter. Anblasen.
Yes, please.
Ich brauche Hilfe.
Wow.
Verstanden, Kommandant.
Hole in the port side. Hole in the hull.
Kümmere mich darum.
Hole in the starboard side. Yeah, come on. Let's see if we do have any chance here.
Verletzt! Sanitäter!
Yeah, great. Ah, come on. Come on. Ah, no any chance to get out of this. Hey, look at that. Is it the deep leaks mod? Yeah. I have to admit, it's the very first time that I am in real action being depth charged. What's going on here? Yeah. Yeah, the water pump is off, but it wouldn't do any good at that depth anyway. They actually had 3 or 4 years practice, yeah. So that late in the war, it's really hard. So let's load this earlier game and see if we get out of this somehow. Wow, this is really the toughest thing that I ever had. That's even tougher than what I had up there in the Arctic missions. Yeah, lucky to have lived. Yeah. But right here now, there is no way. Yeah, maybe also the AI. Maybe it's not just that mod that I have installed, but maybe it's really the AI. Yeah.
Kleine Fahrt, voraus.
So one option now would actually be to use the yeah, maybe it is. Angler bow, 0 distance. 3.2, so go for 3.5.
Rohr 4 bewässern.
Hey, thank you very much, DJ Serrano, for the follow. That's much appreciated. Thanks a lot. So shall we? 3.5.
Los!
Let's just give it a go. And now loading
Ich könnte
torpedoes.
etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Kümmere mich darum.
All right.
Ja.
Now I'm gonna be curious if that torpedo will actually home in onto that one. It is really getting tough.
Der Torpedo ist auf halbem Weg.
So I'm always curious about where you come from, guys. So I am here streaming from Frankfurt area in Germany, actually. Yeah, pretty sure you have guessed by my accent that I'm German. So I would be very curious where you're from.
20 Sekunden.
Alan, okay, yeah, Alan from UK, great. And Serrano from Germany as well, nice.
10 Sekunden bis Einschlag.
Now let's see. Do we? Yes. So the question is if this gives me any advantage. Hey, the Muffin of Evil, a great name. From South Carolina. Hey, that's great. That's great. And yeah, Norman from Australia. From Hobart. Wow. I remember that Tasmania, yeah, that famous regatta to Hobart. Yeah. Bit windy. In the roaring 50s, is it? And hey, Kaluda from Oregon, yeah. The roaring 40s, yeah. Did I say roaring 50s? It's the roaring 40s and the screaming 50s, or how are they called?
Das Schiff.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
Okay. So. We
Eingehendes Funktelegramm. Funkspruch erhalten. Funktelegramm gesendet.
well.
Funkspruch
Funkspruch erhalten.
That's the guy. It's sinking, isn't it?
Funkspruch erhalten.
Zerstörer, direkt voraus.
Yeah, but we sank it, didn't we? They abandoned ship. Watching from your bed, yeah. It's pretty late, actually, yeah. Yeah, maybe it did fix it. My time is now 3:15 in the morning. So what's your time now? Australia. So I would guess it's something like late morning, is it? It's late, yeah. Okay. Almost lunchtime. So we did sink a guy.
Herr Kapitän,
That guy is stationary, it's sinking. Yeah, I actually sank that one. I fired one of my sound-seeking torpedoes on the guy. And the guy is going down. Is he? Yeah, see, the boats are out. The guy's gonna sink. No, definitely not. There is more escort, so I am still in big trouble. I am still in big trouble. So I could turn my course south, something like that. Escort there. 270, 90 degrees, something. At the moment, it looks like they still don't have a clue where I am. Which one is this? I think it's this one, is it? Let's Let's try to wreak havoc amongst them. So go for 3 meters. Angle on bow is just a wild guess, something like that. And the distance, let it be something like 2000 meters.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel. 2000 Meter. Lage 85 rechts. Geschwindigkeit 1,2 Knoten. Rohr 5 bewässern.
What did I say? 3 meters?
Rohr 5 bewässert.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Gegnerlage 103 rechts.
Give it a go. Come on. Synchronizing. Please give me a solution now. I need it now. Why don't I get it synchronized?
Los!
All right.
Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 195 Grad.
Maybe I could sink that guy.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
It's a liberty, yes. There we go. Velocity 7, I guess. Angle on bow is pretty much 90 degrees. And the distance, well, let's give it an estimate.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 2613 Meter. Ja.
So at the moment, looks like the torpedo is not homing in properly, like I thought. I have no idea. So now we do
Sie
have.
gehen unter.
Very good.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 2138 Meter. Lage 8, 9, Bug links.
So at least we are still alive. Let's give it another save. Degrees.
40 Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag. 30 Sekunden.
So the angle on bow would be something like 70.
20 Sekunden.
Is this realistic? Maybe.
10 Sekunden bis Einschlag. Ja. Schwere Schäden.
Wow. Whatever ship we did hit, we inflicted heavy damages. So,
Schussunterlagen
1
aktualisieren.
mile.
Entfernung zum Ziel. 1, 7, 6, 7 Meter. 7, 5, Bug links. Geschwindigkeit 7 Knoten.
Are they maintained? Yeah, they look alright, don't they? So what's the draught? 7.2, so go for 7.5 with the magnetic.
Rohr 1 bewässern.
Rohr 1 bewässert.
7.5, yeah.
Aktualisieren. Gegnerfahrt 7 Knoten. Lage 7,
Just
6
fine.
links. Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 1, 3, 6, 9 Meter.
So please give me the solution.
Los! Rohr 2 bewässern.
Zwei wird besser.
Los! Rohr 3 bewässern. Los!
Now fingers crossed. At the moment it pretty much looks like they have no idea where we are.
Torpedo ist auf halbem Weg.
Alright.
40 Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag.
Okay, this one is probably gonna miss.
Torpedoeinschlag. Ja. 30 Sekunden.
But
Torpedo ist auf halbem Weg. 30 Sekunden. 40 Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag.
wow, this one is also gonna miss. 3 missed torpedoes. Please.
30 Sekunden. 10 Sekunden bis Einschlag.
Oh fuck.
20 Sekunden.
They all were
Fehlschuss.
a miss.
Fehlschuss. 10 Sekunden bis Einschlag. Rohr 4 bewässern.
Rohr 4 bewässert.
Los!
Rohr 1 geladen.
Ja.
Oh, this one is gonna a miss above. Oh shit. Alright, guys, that was not so successful. That's not gonna be a hit. That's gonna be a miss, definitely. A close, but a miss. Wow.
Die Besatzung evakuiert das Schiff. Ja.
They are already having. They're taking water.
Rohr 2 geladen.
Ja. Hüllenbruch.
Gute
Sie
Arbeit,
sinken.
Männer.
Very good. So.
Kleine Fahrt voraus. Tauchen auf 180 Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 10 Meter.
Yes.
Aktuelle Tiefe 40 Meter.
We got that one. Now the question is whether we are gonna survive this chase.
Meter.
Now the question is whether we are gonna survive this chase. It's getting a bit late, but allow me to be AFK just for a minute to get me a drink.
Meter.
Herr Kaloi, wir wurden entdeckt.
Das wird nicht einfach, aber wir haben schon Schlimmeres überstanden. Lasst uns ruhig bleiben. 100 Meter.
All right, that was pretty close, so I've fired. Now, I think I sank one destroyer and one merchantman.
115 Meter.
Oh, wow. No. I think Empire Friendship and Empire Haley, I think they are both merchantmen. So my
25 Meter.
my sound-seeking torpedo, which actually went astray, finally seemed to have homed in on a merchantman. Wow. Now we just have to survive this. But we saw that this is quite a bit of a challenge. Yeah.
135 Meter.
Now we just have to live. Now we just have to get out of this alive. Yes, see, we are at 75,000 tons now.
145 Meter. Alarm! Auf Gefechtsstation!
Dafür haben wir trainiert. Wir werden das gemeinsam durchstehen.
Let's be silent.
Aktuelle Tiefe 155 Meter.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Jawohl, ich kümmere mich drum.
Meter. Alle Maschinen stopp.
Schraubengeräusche direkt über uns.
Tauchen auf 195 Meter.
Herr Kaloi.
175 Meter. Ja.
They're just firing flares at the moment.
Aktuelle Tiefe 185 Meter.
Let's stay completely silent. That sinking freighter should be right above us right now.
Meter. Meter.
just have to make it, yeah. I'm not a big fan of the decoys. I mean, when I ever used a decoy, I always had more that kind of feeling that they were not so much distracting them, but more attracting them on me, because I just couldn't get away quick enough. Why can't I make them command?
Schraubengeräusche.
235. They're not dropping. They're not dropping at the moment.
Motoren besetzen.
Why does it not work?
E-Motoren besetzen.
Wow, they're just passing by above us. And that's the guys who were sinking. They're just lying there listening silently. Yeah, but it's just getting so late. I really have to go to bed. I really have to go to bed. I do have to do some work tomorrow, actually. Yeah, let's give it one more save. And guys, it was a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much for being in the stream. So my next week will be pretty busy work-wise, so I'm probably not gonna do any stream before next Thursday. And so I'm looking forward to have you as my guest then. Let's see, maybe I might have some additional stream, but yeah, most probably not. I'm gonna have to get up pretty early all week. "200 meters. Yeah, but I mean, that was the official data. So nobody actually ever kind of tracked when they were being crushed in real life, right?
In beträchtlicher Entfernung.
Very good. So they're dropping depth charts in quite some distance. Yeah, Colin. I mean, this is maybe data from the shipbuilders, but they really didn't have any statistics, because any boat that actually did get crushed never transmitted any data about its depth. So that's pretty interesting to think about. What I think is, when such a submarine went out on many patrols and got overhauled again and again, got some damage, got back home, got repaired, got maintained. So from a construction point of view, they might have had something like 200 meters. And yeah, we only know the design data so on the one hand, it might be that they were well able to go deeper, and on the other hand, it might be that such a submarine, after several patrols, I mean, you have some wear of the material, and that might also be a reason why the destruction depth, the crush depth, might become less than 200 meters. Okay, alright guys, I need to turn in. It was a pleasure to have you. And in particular, I would like to thank DJ Sereno for joining, Alan Clark, and Art of Bushido as well. So nice to have you as followers by now. And Aqua, I think you're still there. Nice. So have a good night. So you still have the evening before you, while we have, yeah, it's far too late actually. It's unreasonably late for me now to go to bed. So who else is still in the stream? Norman from Australia, if you're still there. All the best, so have a good day. And Kaluda, if you are still there, have a good night. It was a pleasure to have you. And we had the Muffin of Evil. So great that you joined our chat. And yeah, Colin, of course. Good night. So who else was there? Yeah, Chainsaw. Chainsaw, if you're still there, also for you, have a good night. Pit, I think you went to bed, probably, did you? But thanks a lot to Pit for doing the raid. That was just very kind of you. Alright, so have a good night guys, and see you tomorrow. Probably not tomorrow, next week, Thursday. Bye bye.